Scientists tell us we have only 11 years, so that's until 2030, to cut global pollution by half if we want to avoid the very worst consequences of the climate emergency. Think bigger fires in the West or deadlier heat waves, supercharged storms like the one we've seen now, Hurricane Dorian, which is hovering off the coast of the Carolinas as I speak. We're going to hear from Senator Amy Klobuchar and former Vice President Joe Biden coming up. But joining me now to answer your questions, please welcome Senator Kamala Harris of California.
Hi. How are you?
Nice to see you. So nice to see you.
Thank you.
And please sit down.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
So if you...
Well, I certainly would think it's critically important that we immediately, on day one, get back in the Paris Agreement. I think Montreal Protocol and that amendment. And I think it's critical fossil fuel leases on public lands. And that I'm prepared to do on day one as a matter of executive action.
So I want to go to the audience right away. Michael Estrada is from Deerfield Beach, Florida. He works for the environmental group called Green for All, which was co-founded by our own Van Jones, Senator. Michael, what's your question?
Good evening, Senator Harris.
Hey, Michael.
We knew
to have about what it is that you always believe that we should, we should expand what's on those cans of those things that you buy in the grocery.
Comes as we are facing a catastrophe of unprecedented proportions. Hurricane Dorian is just one thing, right? One sign of that dangerous world that scientists say we are entering if humans do not cut carbon pollution and cut it quickly. In half, they say, over the next 11 years to net zero by 2050. 7 candidates are still standing by to answer voters' questions about the crisis, including Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. Please welcome now Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. Senator, nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Wow. Fun. Woman anchor, woman presidential candidate. We've arrived. This is all good, and what a great crowd. Thank you.
So, Senator Klobuchar, it's great to have you with us. I mean, when you think about the climate situation, how big of a crisis is it?
It is, but it's important to bring it home. We need to make the case of what's happening right now. The river is 2.5 miles away. It is
because you mentioned World War II, which I know is central to your question. Stephanie Doba has a question. Retired